You're not the guy women fight for, Ethan. You're the guy they settle for when the exciting ones don't work out. Vanessa said it loud enough for the whole rooftop table to hear, then laughed into her wine glass while Damian Cross sat beside her smirking like he already owned my house. I set my bourbon down. Interesting, I said. Damian leaned back in his chair. Come on, man. Don't act shocked. You're the safe option. Every rich suburb in Dallas is full of guys like you. Vanessa grabbed his arm. See? Even he gets it. I looked at her. You done? What, you gonna lecture me now? She snapped. No, I said. I'm gonna remember this conversation. Her smile faded for half a second, then came back harder. Please. You wouldn't survive 1 week without me running your life. I pulled my truck keys off the table. Then I guess we'll find out. She rolled her eyes. There he goes. Mr. Silent Treatment. Damian laughed. Careful, Ethan. Quiet guys usually break first. I left them there. No yelling. No scene. At 12:41 a.m. I was sitting in my home office staring at our joint account. 3 transfers hit within 6 days. $18,500. $22,000. Another $41,000 wired into an LLC called Vivid Horizon Consulting. I opened the business registration. Registered agent, Vanessa's cousin, Melissa Grant. Empty office suite in Miami. No employees. No website. No tax filings. I called Vanessa. She answered on speaker. Loud music behind her. What? She said. What's Vivid Horizon? Silence. Then Damian's voice in the background. Told you he watches the money. Vanessa lowered her voice. Why are you digging through accounts at 1 in the morning? Because 90 grand disappeared. It's called investing. In what? You don't need every detail. I opened another statement. You charged a $4,200 weekend at the Scottsdale Resort and Spa. Client networking. You expense couples massages too? Dead silence. Then she snapped. Stop acting like my father. I'm acting like the guy paying the mortgage. Barely. She shot back. My salary covers more than you think. I clicked open the property tax statement for our Plano house. Paid entirely from my business account. Same with the Tesla lease. Same with the country club dues. You sure about that? I asked. Her breathing changed. Don't start this tonight. Who's Damian staying with in Scottsdale? A chair scraped hard through the phone speaker. Then Damian grabbed the phone. Careful, Ethan. You start making accusations, things get expensive real fast. I leaned back in my chair and opened the cloud backup from Vanessa's iPad. Hotel confirmations started loading one after another. The backup folder finished syncing at 1:03 a.m. 47 hotel receipts. Miami. Scottsdale. Aspen. Same card ending in 4402. My business account. I called Vanessa again. She answered irritated. Why are you still awake? Why is my company paying for your boyfriend's penthouse suite? Silence. Then she laughed. Oh my God, you actually went through my backups? You used my money. Our money. My LLC owns the account. Damian's voice cut in again. That's cute. You still think everything's yours. I opened another file. Signed condo lease in Miami. 12-month term. Move-in date, August 1st. You already planned the move? Vanessa snapped fast. Maybe I got tired of waiting for you to become interesting. You mean profitable? You work all day and still act like a victim. I forwarded the lease to my attorney. Vanessa heard the email ping through the shared iPad. Who did you send that to? Rachel Whitmore. Dead silence. Then she lowered her voice instantly. Ethan, don't do something stupid over a misunderstanding. You leased a condo with my operating account. Stop calling it yours. The forensic audit won't. A cabinet slammed somewhere on her side of the phone. Damian grabbed it again. Lawyers get expensive, man. Good. I said. I can afford one. Then another notification hit my screen. Vanessa had just initiated a $65,000 transfer from our line of credit. I froze the transfer before it cleared. 30 seconds later, my phone exploded. Vanessa called 3 times back to back, then finally texted, "What the hell did you do?" I called her instead. "You locked the credit line?" She snapped immediately. "You tried pulling 65 grand at 1:17 in the morning. That money was already committed. To Miami? To my future. Using my collateral." She laughed hard into the phone. "Your collateral? Ethan, half your company becomes mine the second I file." I opened the operating agreement for Walker Freight Holdings and forwarded it to Rachel. "Not this company." Silence. "What does that mean?" she asked slower. "Means you should have read what you signed 3 years ago." Damien grabbed the phone again. "You hiding assets now?" "No," I said. "I'm protecting them." Another pause. Then Vanessa came back furious. "You moved things behind my back? The holding company was created before your name ever touched the business." "Bullshit. Check section 8.2. I heard movement, doors slamming, papers shifting. 3 minutes later she called again, breathing hard. "You transferred the warehouses?" "The warehouses were never personally owned." "You told me we owned them together." "No. You assumed." She slammed something near the phone. "You're trying to screw me financially. You already started that." At 8:40 a.m. she showed up at my office wearing sunglasses and attitude like nothing happened. My receptionist stopped her. "Mrs. Walker, you need an appointment." Vanessa pushed past her. "I'm his wife." "Not in this building," I said from the conference room doorway. She walked in fast and dropped a printed bank statement on the table. "You embarrassed me at the bank. You embarrass yourself trying to drain a commercial line." I needed liquidity. "For Damien?" She crossed her arms. "You don't get to question me after hiding trusts." Rachel stepped into the room carrying the same manila folder I'd emailed her overnight. Vanessa's face changed instantly. "Why is there a lawyer here?" Rachel sat down calmly. "Because you attempted unauthorized transfer activity using secured business debt." Vanessa pointed at me. "You're seriously lawyering up against your own wife?" Rachel opened the folder. "Actually, Mrs. Walker, we're trying to understand why your cousin's Shell LLC received $92,000 tied to marital funds." Vanessa looked at me sharply. "You hired a forensic accountant?" "No," I said. 2. Her phone buzzed on the table. "Damien." Texting again. Rachel glanced at the screen before Vanessa flipped it over. "Interesting timing," Rachel said. Vanessa stood up fast. "You went through my private messages?" "No," Rachel replied. "But subpoenas will." Vanessa grabbed her phone off the table. "You're not subpoenaing my messages." Rachel slid another document across the conference table. "We already pulled the wire records tied to Vivid Horizon Consulting." Vanessa looked down fast. "Wrong move." Rachel tapped 3 highlighted transactions. 92,000 from joint funds. Another 48 through a secondary Chase account ending in 8814. Vanessa snapped her head toward me. "You accessed my personal account?" "No," Rachel said. "Your cousin mixed business and personal transfers. That opened discovery." Vanessa stood up. "Melissa handled bookkeeping." Rachel nodded once. "Badly." I opened my laptop and rotated the screen toward her. Security footage from the Scottsdale Resort garage. Vanessa climbing into Damien's Range Rover at 12:14 a.m. Same night she billed, marketing consulting, through the shell company. "You hired someone to follow me?" she shot back. "No," I said. "The resort keeps surveillance for 90 days. Damien called her again. She declined it this time. Rachel opened the manila folder wider. "There's another problem." Vanessa crossed her arms. "What now?" Rachel slid over a condo contract from Miami. "This signature doesn't match your banking documents." Vanessa stared at it too long. Rachel leaned forward. Did Damien sign financial documents using your authorization? Vanessa looked at me immediately. Not Rachel. Then her phone buzzed again. This time the preview lit up across the screen. Call me. The IRS contacted my office. Vanessa flipped the phone face down so fast she almost knocked over Rachel's coffee. You contacted the IRS over a condo lease? She snapped. Rachel didn't blink. No. Your shell company triggered an audit after multiple undeclared transfers. Vanessa pointed at me. You set this up. You forged financial disclosures, I said. That's not a setup. She laughed once, sharp and arrogant. You think this scares me? I know judges. I sit on boards with people who own half the city. Rachel opened another tab on her laptop. Then you should know what wire fraud exposure looks like. Vanessa leaned across the table. Careful, counselor. You push too hard. I filed for spousal support and freeze every business account he has. You can try. Rachel replied. Most of his operating assets were moved into an irrevocable trust 11 months ago. Vanessa turned toward me slowly. You planned this before tonight? I planned it when you started hiding money. You paranoid control freak. You leased a Miami condo behind my back. Her phone buzzed again. Damien this time. She answered immediately. Fix this. She hissed. His voice blasted through speaker by accident. I told you not to use the consulting account for the condo deposit. Rachel wrote something down instantly. Vanessa pulled the phone away. Too late. Rachel looked up calmly. Thank you. That confirms commingled funds. Vanessa slammed her purse shut. You're both trying to trap me. No, I said. You trapped yourself the second you started spending business money like it was divorce prep. Then Rachel slid a sealed envelope across the table. Temporary asset restriction request. Filed 30 minutes ago. Vanessa ripped open the envelope and scanned the first page. Asset restriction? She snapped. Rachel nodded. Temporary injunction. No liquidation, no transfers, no refinancing over $10,000. Vanessa looked at me like she'd never seen me before. You filed this already? 3 days ago, I said, before the Scottsdale footage surfaced. She slammed the papers onto the table. You were planning a war while pretending nothing was wrong. You were building an exit plan with stolen money. Her phone started vibrating nonstop again. Damien. Melissa. Unknown numbers. She ignored all of them and pointed at Rachel. You can't freeze my access based on accusations. Rachel slid over another document. Not accusations. Signed vendor contracts. Vanessa frowned. What vendor contracts? I opened my laptop and pulled up the consulting invoices tied to Vivid Horizon. Same IP address used to submit them. Same laptop Vanessa used at our house. You billed fake consulting services through a shell company using marital funds. I said. That crosses into fraud exposure. That's accounting language. Not fraud. Rachel nodded once. The SEC usually disagrees. Vanessa's face tightened immediately. SEC? Your employer is publicly traded, Rachel said. Undisclosed financial misconduct creates reporting obligations. Vanessa grabbed her phone and finally answered Damien. You told me this structure was protected. His voice came through low and panicked. Why is there an SEC attorney seat on the audit request? Rachel calmly pushed one last paper across the table. Because your condo deposit touched restricted investor funds through his company. Vanessa snatched the paper from Rachel's hand. Investor funds? Damien's voice cracked through the phone. Don't say another word. Rachel leaned back. Too late. Your condo deposit was routed through Cross Performance Ventures before being transferred into Vivid Horizon. Vanessa stared at Damien's name on the document. You told me the money was clean. Because it was supposed to be temporary. He shot back. My phone buzzed next. CFO from Damien's company. Emergency board meeting scheduled for 4 p.m. Rachel glanced at the notification. Looks like someone started internal discovery. Vanessa grabbed her purse. I'm leaving. Rachel stopped her immediately. You walk out now, the court sees flight risk behavior tied to financial concealment. Vanessa sat back down hard. Her phone rang again. This time her employer. She answered quietly. Hi, Mark. Then silence. Her face changed instantly. You suspended my accounts? Another pause. Pending ethics review? Are you serious? She looked at me while listening. This is because of him. Rachel corrected her fast. No. It's because auditors hate hidden transactions. Vanessa ended the call and pointed at me across the table. You just destroyed my career. You moved stolen money through fake invoices. I said. Damien started yelling through speaker now. They froze company distributions. Do not talk to regulators without counsel. Rachel wrote another note. Good advice. Then Vanessa's banking app refreshed on her phone. Red notifications across every account. Transfer blocked. Credit review hold. Wire access suspended. Vanessa refreshed the banking app again like the screen might change its mind. Same red warnings. Same frozen access. This is temporary, she said fast. Rachel closed the manila folder. The court hearing is in 48 hours. Until then, every flagged account stays restricted. Damien called again. Vanessa answered immediately. Tell me you fixed this. His voice sounded wrecked now. The board removed me from financial authority this morning. What? They locked me out of company systems. Vanessa stood up so hard her chair hit the wall. You said your investors trusted you. Not after the SEC inquiry. Rachel slid another document across the table. There's also the reimbursement claim. Vanessa looked down. Hotel charges. Condo deposit. Luxury travel. Cosmetic procedures. Every transfer tied back to Vivid Horizon. Total exposure, $312,440. You're billing me for this? She snapped. The company is, I said. You used business funds. Her phone buzzed again. Melissa this time. Vanessa answered with shaking hands. What now? Melissa sounded panicked. Federal agents were at my office asking about the consulting invoices. Vanessa closed her eyes for 1 second, then immediately pointed at me again. You wanted revenge. No, I said. I wanted my money back. Another notification hit her phone. Miami condo lease terminated due to fraud investigation. Damien texted right after. Don't contact me again until my attorney calls yours. Vanessa stared at the message while Rachel calmly zipped the manila folder shut and slid the divorce papers across the table. Vanessa stared at the divorce papers like they were written in another language. You already filed? Rachel nodded. Filed, secured, and scheduled. Vanessa looked at me sharply. You waited until everything collapsed first. You started collapsing it months ago. Her phone rang again. Corporate HR this time. She answered quietly, listened for maybe 10 seconds, then ended the call without speaking. Rachel checked the notice they emailed over. Administrative termination pending investigation. Vanessa dropped into the chair. They can't fire me over allegations. No, Rachel said. They can fire you for undisclosed financial misconduct tied to vendor fraud. Damien texted again. One sentence this time. My attorney says no further contact. Vanessa laughed once under her breath. Unbelievable. I slid the manila folder closer to her. Same folder that held the audit reports, condo transfers, surveillance logs, and shell company records. Page 14, Rachel said calmly. Vanessa flipped to it. Reimbursement judgment. Asset recovery order. Court-approved restrictions on future claims against my business trust. You protected everything, she muttered. Most of it before you ever met Damien, I said. She signed the divorce papers hard enough to tear through the second page. Rachel collected them immediately. The temporary injunction converts to permanent at 5 p.m., she said. Your remaining access to the commercial accounts ends then. Vanessa grabbed her phone one last time. Face ID failed. Account locked. I stood up, took the signed papers from Rachel, and walked out while the bank finalized the freeze on every account connected to Vivid Horizon Consulting.